Welcome to Daily Game Design. Happy to be here. Even though the Bills lost yesterday, it's so sad. There's always some kind of weird controversy. Of course, they tried to lose with turnovers. They did their best. Of course, it's just a game. But man, it's really interesting, like how seriously we take such things. So I'm sure there's a whole stream of reflecting on that could be potentially interesting. I wanted to share just a little bit of the progress I've made with an idea with the working title Dust Bowl. And there's nothing much here yet. There's no mechanics. There's just a brainstorm of a game board and like a hint at the kinds of things that are possible here. So this is the period of the Great Depression where Oklahoma became the Dust Bowl, and there was the exodus across the Southwest and into California. The Okies traveling across Route 66, etc. And the Grapes of Wrath and these like really intense kind of gritty stories. I think there could be something interesting or compelling here to be in that setting, dealing with the tightness, the feelings that some of those people might have had in a game that I would like to think of as inspired by the White Castle. I played the White Castle several times in a row with one of my friends on BGA, and just really just became very attracted to the process, to the style of game. And that has, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that you only get 9 turns in the base game. It's just incredible. And a turn maybe at the very start of the game, maybe one action, but then later on, and then even sometimes between rounds, then you start taking like turns balloon into multiple actions. You just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So it feels really good. It's a really cool engine building game. But it's still very tight. Like it feels like if you're not calculating, if you're not really checking different branches of possibility to find the most efficient, the most productive path, you're probably not going to do that well. But it's still really clever in that with the worker placement, because you can't calculate everything. You can't see that many turns ahead, but at least for like a couple of giant turns, you can do the calculation, and that's something actually I believe working against it. Good thing it's only 9 turns. But that ability to calculate massive turns, I would probably not want to deal with in person. I think the feeling I have now, having played, the feeling I have while I'm playing and clicking through stuff on BGA, and then like clicking through most of a turn and then realizing, oh shoot, I don't have that one resource I thought I had, or it's not going in the way that I expected. Then to like just undo the turn, just start over. Okay, cool. But in person, that'd be the most, and well, because I play turn based, so I have a lot of time to do that. If I really feel like, oh, I need to go down into that hole and like really investigate, so I can do that on BGA just fine, and it doesn't affect the other people. But now knowing what it takes to do fairly well. I'm not like breaking any records with scoring or anything like that. I'm sure I'd get beat by a lot of people. But I've done fairly well for a few games, and knowing what it takes, I would not be super interested in sitting through that at the table. I think that would be really challenging to like be patient, to not want to walk back my turns, to not check a few branches, and then to be cool when somebody else wants to reset their turn. I think it'd be really tough. But anyway, really, really took a liking to that game. And then I kind of saw in my mind's eye this other setting. The one, this 1920s, 30s, um, dirty, dusty game with a jalopy trundling across Route 66, or you and your family somehow afford a train ticket. You take it to a major stop, or you take it all the way. This was the Santa Fe Railroad and others that kind of combine into a little network to get you to California. And this is where you had the hobos and um, people just jumping on trains. I really thought, there could be something here because I think it represents the kind of scarcity that I feel in the White Castle in more of a thematic, literal. It's more thematic. Like I don't know why the Japanese. I don't know what sort of time period that is, but is it feudal? I'm not sure. Probably not. There's some emperor doing whatever. Anyway, you see, this looks pretty goofy. I should say my goal actually, because I still have a fair amount of work to do for my class. So after I finish this, I'm definitely jumping over to my class, making sure that everything is posted. For my students for this coming week. Not coming week, this week. But I wanted to just talk through a little bit about what I've brainstormed. Again, there's nothing really mechanical. This is more just like, it's more like an art piece with potential. But my main goal is after this is to print out. I need to create and then print out my my updates for Sugar Shack because we have an in-person meetup today. I don't know if anybody's coming. I can't really tell, but I hope we get at least 2 or 3 people in addition to me. Then we get a few games played. That's fine. Wow. Okay. One of the weird things about this game is going to be the direction of movement. At least in our culture, I think movement from left to right is typical. I don't know how many games actually have you moving from left to right, or like the flow of things is set in a direction. I can't think of any games. I'm sure there's plenty. But in this case, as you like, my expectation is that you'll be kind of drafting families or travelers and then sending them on their way from Oklahoma to California. And so the movement of pawns or cards or whatever it is I end up using, that's all going to be from right to left. Whereas I feel like I would most expect things to be moving from left to right, just as an English speaker and reader, an English reader. That's kind of how I think things should work. But here we're moving from right to left. So even just that is odd, and it might be worth exploring some other possibility. I feel like that could be jarring. I feel like that could be like pretty odd. But okay, so there are the routes. So in this game, what I'm thinking is that there is a jalopy route and a train route, and they actually intersect. They intersect here in Albuquerque or Santa Fe. I don't remember. I think it's Albuquerque. So the overall concept is something like you have. I really like action cards or like hand management. And so I'm thinking that you'll have a hand of cards and you choose an action. You choose an action, take the action, discard that card. And I think I've brainstormed like 3 or 4 action cards. So movement, um, drafting. Oh, okay. Well, maybe I need a little more context first. So there are 2 paths from Oklahoma to California. The Jalopy route is the Route 66. It's there in blue, and then the train, the Santa Fe line, is in red. And you can see there's a different number of stops, as you can imagine. Like traveling the train would be a lot faster. So that's what's represented here. So you would I think I still want dice to be involved here. I don't know exactly how, but I'm thinking that there's a pool of dice over here in what becomes the Dust Bowl. These are resources. It might be like these are like cornfields or wheat fields or something. I think wheat fields, like whatever crop is the one that was over produced, over cultivated, the one because what ended up happening uh is in that time period somebody, I forget how, there was even some incentivizing, but people were clear cutting all the grasslands and then replacing that with agriculture of specific kinds. I think wheat was a big one. Well, the root systems for those grasses and those grasslands were really important for keeping that area, which was big, wide open, flat, for keeping that area under control. So when the big storms would come through, or if things got windy or whatever, as I guess it was prone to do over there, the grasses had deeper roots so that they could withstand and kind of hold the soil together, and also, not be blown away themselves. Those grasses. Well, replacing that stuff with like temporary and shallow rooted plants, what happened is that, there was some kind of a drought or something, and then those plants had no ability to secure themselves to the ground, so they just ended up getting like knocked over, pulled out, everything. And then the topsoil had no system for stability either, and then that all got picked up when big, like a tornado or whatever, big storms over the plains, they would come rolling through. And that's actually what lifted everything, like all the top of the dust got taken up into the atmosphere, and that's when you see these crazy dust storms. Pictures of dust storms. Dust Bowl dust storm. Like, I don't know. Can this be real? I don't know. Dust Bowl, National Drought Mitigation Center. So these big storms would come through, like these dust storms. Should we just go to Wikipedia? Yeah, so somehow, let's see, affected by the Dust Bowl between 1935. Okay, so it's the mid to late 30s. I'm just thinking 20s because we're doing the prohibition thing. The speakeasy stuff for for our mystery dinner theater. Deep plowing of the Great Plains virgin topsoil displaced native deep-rooted grasses. This was because of rapid mechanization. Anyway, I don't see what crops they planted. I thought it was wheat. I'm sure there are others. Anyway, we're looking for photos. Dust storm approaching, Spearman, Texas. Heavy black clouds, Texas Panhandle. Can you imagine? What is this? Buried machinery in a barn and lot. Missouri migrant families jalopy stuck near Tracy, California. Wild. Migratory family of from Texas living in a trailer in an Arizona cotton field. Just insane. The effect on people. Trying to figure this stuff out. Dust Bowl farmers of West Texas. Anyway, just like a really, perhaps avoidable tragic period in history here. So what I'm doing is trying to represent, that shift from like despair to hope to an expectation. And even then, things worked out for some people, not for others. So that's going to be that's the thing that would be kind of captured in this game, is having a dice pool that kind of represents the agriculture of Oklahoma and Missouri, or whatever, Kansas, whatever was really affected by the Dust Bowl stuff. And then over time, that dice pool is depleted, and those dice get sent to California. And showing like that material shift, that material change, I think is pretty cool. So some dice, and you're doing some like dice drafting. Excuse me. Dice drafting. And at the same time, like taking actions like movement, or there'd be something like buying or selling heirlooms, as you're traveling along. But one of the things, though, one of the things that I think could be really interesting is the difference between trying to travel the jalopy path or the train path. So the train, my thinking right now is that the train has these different cars, and the cars are they offer different bonuses or different bonuses or bonus actions. Don't know exactly what they are yet, but let's say you take an action to draft a family or a traveler of some kind. Now you have to decide, how is that family going to get to California? So you'll decide that by starting to move them. And if you move them along the jalopy path, then they mainly interact with all these cards that'll be sitting here. And I think the cards, they're a mixture of upgraded action cards, so the cards that you start with in your hand. I think you could like swap them out with more powerful versions of those cards. Don't know how yet. Also, maybe heirlooms are over here, and you can like buy and sell to get more money, or like heirlooms would be worth victory points, that kind of thing. So anyway, these cards would be, maybe there'd be like 2 or 3 different types of cards that would be laid out. And in this way, similar to the White Castle, where once you get there, once you arrive at that location, you get to draft one of the cards. Like pick from, take an action, and then pick one of the cards that's there. And so you see, I don't know if this is interesting or important yet, but just having like 2 options, 3, 4, 3, and then 2 on the way across. So if the family was like going step by step across like that, they'd have access to all those cards. Meanwhile, a family that ends up on the train, instead of representing them over here, they would actually get represented on the train. Maybe it's pawns, maybe it's cubes, or maybe it's standees, I don't know. But what you do is you pay some amount of money for them to board one of those cars. Let me just grab a pawn real quick. Or actually a cube might work a little better right now. Who cares? Just a green cube. Okay, so let's say this is a family I just drafted. Like there's maybe a little market of 3 to 4 face-up cards, and as one of your actions, you get to draft a family or a traveler. And I think there'll be different types of travelers with different starting resources, that kind of thing. So let's say, for example, that a family is going to probably be more expensive to move. They're going to move slower, but they'll be worth more victory points because they're probably going to carry more heirlooms, right? Whereas if you have just like a single adult, they're going to move really quickly. They're going to be really cheap to feed or whatever mechanic we need there. But they're not going to be carrying as many heirlooms. They're not going to be as valuable when they reach California. Also, I think there's like work along the way. Like there are ways to like earn an income, at least in the jalopy. And so you might want to send the family across in the jalopy because they're going to be worth more at the end. They can also pick up a bunch of stuff because they'll probably be something about they can hold more things, right? But you're just gonna have to pay attention to them longer. They're gonna be on this track longer than whoever's on the train. Okay, and then anyway, with the way this train would work is that you would pay some amount of money for them to get access to one of these train cars. Now, what the cars would do, it's something like offer extra actions or bonuses for where things are going on the jalopy, although thematically that wouldn't make any sense. I'm not super committed to making everything feel thematic here. I think I really love the abstract puzzle of the White Castle, and some of it is just mechanical. It's just there are interesting gates you have to deal with. Interesting, just like resource puzzles and action chains. And I think that is fine here. I mean, thematic integration would be great, but anyway, I don't know how to make these relevant for what's going on the road, but you know, if you set a family in the $2 car, maybe you get to draft an extra die next turn, or maybe it's an instant bonus of X thing. Whereas 10, it could be more related to victory points. 5 could be more related to like ongoing bonus. I don't know yet. But where you decide to place that traveler or family of travelers, that would give you some benefit, for X number of turns, because at some point they're going to need to move, and maybe there is something a little automated about movement, but like If you're on the train, you're going to move from this space to this space because you do want the travelers in the train to get to California too. You're going to get a payout for them. So these are all going to be temporary bonuses, but I don't know. Anyway, I don't know what they'll be yet, but I think that could be interesting. Then there's this intersection here where I can decide to leave that traveler on the train or have them get a car and go jalopy style. Or I can have a family who's been in a jalopy. Maybe they got some money, and now they can jump on the train and fast track to California. So I think it's kind of neat to have that exchange. Wow, I feel like I slept at like 10:30 or 11, and I woke up around 5. I don't know why I'm so tired. Maybe it's Bill's depression. You never know. Anyway, I'm excited about some of the ideas here. I'm sure all of this is going to be very, very different. Oh, I made this cube because I was going to place them in the windows. And there'd be some kind of bonus just listed here. And maybe like an instant thing if you place, there'd be like kind of worker placement style and an instant bonus if you like drop them here on this window, or a different bonus if you drop them here on this window. There's also the hobo space for free, and maybe there's just a little added risk with that, but it could give you some short-term kind of desperation bonus. So anyway, excited about Dust Bowl. Made some progress yesterday. Now I'm gonna go. I don't know if I need to go here. I guess dexterous is where I need to go. Yeah, I think I am gonna have to sleep a little bit before my meeting at 10 with Daniel, but I did want to get at least an hour's worth of work done for my class. It's gonna be tough to get everything done today. Okay. Looks like this is what we're dealing with. So projects, Sugar Shack. Yeah, so a lot of these are going to change because these card backs no longer exist. So we'll just take care of this now. Yeah, all this stuff very, very different. Even, you know what, I'm very happy about this warehouse change. There's no need to have two different sides of the warehouse. Should I have a player aid printed? That'd be nice. I don't know if I'll have one updated. I could try. I guess let me go have a look. Yeah, all this stuff is going to change. Everything with like a different card back is going to change. Oh, we're starting to get a little instability. Not too bad. Okay. I could probably I think I needed to, it's this one. So I can drop in everything. No. I think everything should have basically the same names. Let's just let me... Okay, I need to rotate everything. That's important. Rotate right. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. One thing I'll be testing, if I get to this game today, and there's no guarantee I will, I'm gonna try to... I'm gonna see what happens if I just... So the back doesn't need to be... Let's see what happens. Overwrite. It's overwriting time. Oh, I was up at around 7 yesterday for Dean's, I should say, Legends stream. I'm sad I feel like there is a reason to keep like nicknames going. And that's easy for me to forget apparently. Because I watched Legends stream yesterday. And it was a really fun time. He was walking around the Aloi down in Waikiki. Sat down for a little while, did his top 12. Really great, interesting top 12. And anyway, really enjoyed that. Caught that for about 45 minutes. And worked on some other stuff and just kind of hung out at home. I didn't really expect to skip church. I was not sure if a friend was going to get a little group together for a hike. And then I knew the Bills game was on later, and I knew I had a lunch with some friends that was going to be really encouraging and fun. So I just stayed home, hung out, worked a little bit on Dust Bowl. But anyway, it was kind of it was a fun start to my morning. Like warehouse, what is this? Warehouse starting, warehouse flipped. So this can go away now, right? Yeah, I wonder, is there a way to make these a little bit bigger? File size? Oh, weird. Okay, flipped no longer exists. Garden, I think I'm not ready for. There's another one, maybe by name. Let's see by name. Race is the one I usually use. What is this? Weeks. This one's not updated. Just delete it. This one doesn't really work still. Well, let me just go back and see if everything is updated. Hopefully it is. And it should be. Wait a minute. Garage, these should not have been flipped. So I still need to go in and update that. Are there any other portrait cards? There was the player aid, but I haven't updated that yet, so I don't think that's super important. That's garage, right? Where's that? My dad just sent me Wordle for the day. Okay, looks better. Everything looks pretty good. It's going to be a bunch of cutting. I don't know about this player aid. Like, should I just delete that? For now, probably. Let me check the backs. So this is number 6. Let me just make sure number 6 is what it was. Number 6, good. Let's wait a minute. So this is wrong. Wait. Okay, garage. Yeah, this needs to change, but why? Why is it like that? Because the card back should be updated here too. This is the upgraded. Should be upgraded. Flipped. Does anything else have an irregular back? So we flip the sugar bush, flip the you know what though? I don't need to print the backs of these cards. Because most of them are just card backs I already have. I only need to print these, so I wonder how that's gonna go. So export components. I like how this turned out. I like how the layout is going here. And I wonder if I can just ignore some of these pages. Yeah, most of them. And look, are they all on the? Oh dang, they're not. That's okay though. Yeah, I think I'll just delete the player aid for now. Dang it, should I do that? Maybe not. I just know I don't have all of the icons. Well, I have space now. Okay. Gain money. This is gain money upon a trigger. And I do think that's fine. The red one is conditional, I believe. Oh wait, I guess maybe I could just do this. Be that color, sure. So for the gift shop and money track, this is conditional. Are there any other conditional ones? I forget actually. I think that's it. Well, is that pretty much what I need? What is this? Send this spent cube. Oh, see, I don't know what to do with Serb ink. I don't know what to do with Serb ink. Did I have text ready for playwright? Yeah, so this is wrong. Activate a town location with worker. Or recall workers. Anytime on your turn. Yeah. You may use and flip an earned mayor card whenever appropriate on your turn to gain its benefit. Perfect. Okay, so this is going to change now. Let me say recall, worker recall steps. So recover workers from town and fill spaces, staff spaces in the active staff area. Move workers from the waiting room area into the active staff area. Still true. And this is also true. Move serve cubes from the evaporator into the garage. Refill the white spaces of the evaporator. Wait a minute. So this is not true anymore. Gain syrup ink income if applicable. If applicable. So yeah, because now this stuff doesn't just automatically happen. The sugar bush runs out as you are filling your evaporator. Add syrup cubes from the supply as necessary. Okay, complete daily weekly upkeep if necessary. So this is not happening. Okay, reconcile the warehouse. Clear the gift shop. That's first. Clear the gift shop. Now reconcile the warehouse. The warehouse payouts. Flip and refill sugar bush. Okay, I guess the playwright's not that far off. I'll be right back. Is there any other option here? Hmm. Move workers from the waiting room area into the active staff area. Move syrup cubes from the evaporator into the garage. Gain income if applicable. Because one thing I was going to consider, probably not today, is this recall action being like really, like feeling really good. I mean, that's not bad. Like, round upkeep. Clear off the gift shop. Reconcile the warehouse payouts. Yeah, I feel good about this. So that's 3 and 4. I should probably call them something different. Player aid. Let's do player aid front. Player aid back. Okay, now let's do it. Okay, so 3 and 4 actually. 3 and 4. So the player aid is not even in. It's not even in my older or my most recent, like the opposite. It's not even in my most recent folder of images with these player aids. They will be now. Okay, now I can do player aid. Oh, I did have. Oops. Player aid back. Nothing. There it is. And then we'll go to the front. Let's see, player aid front. .png. Perfect. Okay, now I think we're ready. I should have 2 of these, right? So I'll duplicate that. I have enough sleeves and cards. I think I do. Oh, you know what I can do is I can arrange. Let me go to the card backs. So I can move these cards so that all of the unique, because it was 6 on a Oh, this would be amazing if this worked out. Oh, I don't think it does. I think we're one away. Yeah, I think it was 6 cards on a sheet. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Right, because here's this one lonely. It's fine. Okay, let me see my printer's on. Oh, this is very small, but I think I wanted this to be anything above 30. So it's just weird that it's anything above 31. That's just because I didn't change it after I updated. Okay, and then I need to rotate it. Okay. Now it's good. Was there a way to do this? Oh no, I need to go back to images. I'm pretty sure there is a way to do it. Okay, go back to projects, Sugar Shack. Now everything. These are backs. Okay, fronts. Okay, now export. Perfect. Looks good, looks good. Yeah, because I still don't want to print every page. Mostly want to print the check P&P. Okay, so it's still downloading. Cool. That's perfect. So, yeah, just gonna print these sheets. Let me actually grab my prototype. good. Okay, so what am I printing and what am I? Oh, you know what I can do? I wonder because I don't have my paid subscription anymore. No way. Yeah. Bummer. I can't do, yeah, pretty basic stuff. I wonder if there's a way to print just these pages then. Is there a way to print the selected? Is that what's happening? Good, actually. Perfect. Actual size looks good. Let's see how it goes. Ooh. It's offline. Try again. It's definitely awake now. Make sure it has all the paper it needs. think. I don't know why it's saying it's offline. Because it says it's connected to my Wi-Fi, so I'm just not sure what's going on. Reset it. Hoping I don't need to do funny business. Because it's definitely like doing stuff. And it said that it was connected to my hotspot. So it wanted to be online. If there's a way to like troubleshoot this or what? Okay, well, I think that's it for me. I'm going to kind of reset, probably do a few things before I have to uninstall this printer and try again. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I will see you soon. Bye bye for now.